Not sure we got much better today. Thought the defense ran around pretty good. Don't think we got much improvement in offense today. Got some things to work on. Quarterbacks did not progress like they had been doing, so they got to have a better day tomorrow.
Big picture, I'm sure you're never where you want to be, but as camp comes to an end, or do you think you where you need to be?
Not completely, no. And most coaches would tell you that. We, as I told the team, you're going to make mistakes every day. What we got to do is not make the same ones. We got to correct the ones we made yesterday because we're going to make new ones tomorrow. And so, when we make the same mistakes, it's hard to move on to the next phase. And so I thought that was the issue today offensively.
Making the same mistakes again.
Yeah, just things that shouldn't happen. And the quarterback has got a lot of responsibility and got a lot on his plate. But we got to progress better, and they will.
Anything else more you can elaborate on the non-progression of the quarterbacks? Like, what were they? What was happening?
Non-progression. Really?
You mentioned
No. What's going to happen?
You mentioned in the past.
I'm not going to mention anything about anything because it'll. I should know that. I mean, that's 29 years. You mention one thing and it'll be blown up like it's, the world's coming to an end deal, right? I mean, so my mistake. I call Mike, and don't ever mention anything. I mean, you probably told me, don't ever mention anything specifically because then it's the, what are we going to do? Mike, you understand. But, I mean, it's a fair question.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah, I don't blame you. No, I mean, I don't mind. I have high expectations for all our guys. I think any coach does. But, I mean, I truly believe truly have high expectations for all of our guys at every position. I do think we have players there, and especially in that quarterback room. My expectations for them are really high, and it's always been because, that's an important position. But, for the guys in that room, I've said this several times. I really like what we have in there. So my expectation is for them to really, really perform well all the time, and they will. And they'll get there.
Your past experiences when you have a poor practice or one you're not that's up to your standard, do they come back usually? Do they bounce back?
Yeah, usually they'll bounce back or we keep going till it happens. You know what I mean? One of the kind of deals like, I'm not giving up on anybody, but so it's not. I just think it's, everybody has a different kind of methodology and a process that they go through, and there are mistakes along the way, and all that, and that's the most important position on the team. It's a team game, but that's the most important position. So we throw a lot at them. There's no question we throw a lot at them. So they're a conscientious group, and it's a really good group. They'll be all right.
Do you have to stir things up a little bit? I know some coaches, you get practice after practice after practice, it gets kind of mundane, and you have to.
I have no problem. I didn't want to stir it up today. My goal was to go out today and not have to yell one time. Just like eat a popsicle at the break. Get some of this nice water with what do you call it, electrolytes in it, and happy day. That's didn't work out that way.
Earlier in fall camp, Zach mentioned that he was hoping to cause 3 turnovers at least per practice. Just wondering if the defense has kind of been living up to that expectation.
Yeah, I mean that part of it, but I don't. That's not my goal. I mean, what if it's a freshman, that's just doesn't make the right read or something, and they didn't cause a turnover. It was just given a turnover. So there's different turnovers. There's ones that are caused by great play, great disguise, great efforts, and there's some caused by like stupidity. Like we didn't hold the ball tight enough, or we just threw it right to a guy. So I don't necessarily think all the interceptions or whatever was thrown in the history of football are caused by defense. Probably most of them are caused by bad decisions. So I don't ever look at that. Like, quarterbacks are making a bunch of bad decisions, and he just happened to be the guy standing there.
Rich, you talked about redshirting, not really thinking a whole lot about a week or so ago. Any freshmen definitely work their way into your rotation, or is it still to be determined?
Let me hold up my depth chart. You guys want to take a shot of that? Yeah. You want to see who the top kicker is right there? Did you flash it? Pat McAfee. See, right corner, Adam Jones. Oh, here's a good one. Boundary safety, Jamal Adai. Name from the past. Hey, quarterbacks. Pat will probably get mad about that. Rasheed Marshall. Hey, starting next. Stedman Bailey. There's a good one right there. See, Stedman Bailey. What was the question?
Any of the true freshmen fighting to be in the rotation?
I'm trying to think who the true freshmen are. I don't know, Mike and Mike. Is there any of them? I don't think there's. I mean, they're all getting reps right now. And I don't. We don't need to make a decision really till after the fourth game, right? Sure. So that's a a good rule. I think they get to play 4 games and the bowl game if you're in a bowl game. So we won't. We'll try to after tomorrow. By Monday, see who's in the mix. But I won't, like in the past where you're like, gosh, I don't want to get that freshman in there and ruin a redshirt year. You don't have to do that anymore. In fact, I think there might be a one day where you get 5 years to play 5. I think they're trying to pass that on the Division II level. It might happen on Division I level too, going forward. So, yeah, there's a couple that might be in there.
I was asking Pat Kirkland the other day about live special teams. Obviously, it's risky. Have you thought about how far you're going to go with that to determine kickoff, field goal block?
Live?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, funny you asked that because we did a lot of special teams today, and it was in shorts, and I'm thinking, can we do kickoff and kickoff return live? And I don't know if anybody ever does that. And then I'm thinking, boy, the NFL's got it figured out because they have the preseason games, but none of the starters really play much in the preseason games, and their special teams are usually like with the back half of your roster or guys trying to make the team, so you can get it live. So, but we don't have the preseason games, of course. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it live, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way to at least get it full speed and maybe go live and not tackle.
On the list of unknowns and anxieties, that first kickoff, is that right up there on your top of your
Not
list?
as much because there's hopefully if we're kicking off, we hope we kick it out. And, it's not like, they could maybe try to run a reverse or something, but it's not like they can kind of trick you. So, those things you probably worry more about punt, right? You better not have a punt block. So we work punt every day. We work punt every day. We work punt block a lot because you see those more often, and those happen faster in the game. And we really work hard on that. So we will go live with the punt, but I don't know if we'll go live with the other ones.
Richard, you're starting over with teams like bringing 70 people in. Everybody obviously would like to have recruits, transfers from Michigan and Ohio State and Clemson and Alabama. But the fact of the matter is that you wind up taking a lot of junior college kids, Division II kids and the like. So is that maybe a good thing? I mean, it strikes me that they would have a little more passion
Yeah, Bob, you hope that they would have like the want to prove themselves. I've always believed that I've heard guys say before, and I've heard coaches say before, I don't have anything to prove. I've already proven it. And I think if they're keeping score, you always have something to prove. I was like Michael Jordan now. He tried to prove something every time, and he practiced, and same with Kobe Bryant. So I think, the those, no question, when you get a guy from a junior college or a Division II or 1AA or a Group of 5 come here, I think they all have a little chip on their shoulder to some degree. And not that guys coming from Power Fours don't, but sometimes those guys are just looking for a bigger payday, you know. And that's, I hope that, like I mentioned before, I hope if the guy's coming to your place just for a bigger payday, I think he's coming for the wrong reasons. If he's coming, maybe that's a bet. You know, he's going to get bigger pay than the Group of 5 or 1AA, of course, but he's also wanting to prove that he can play on this level. Then I think you'll get more out of him, in my opinion.
Last year at Jacksonville State,
Yeah.
your two best players probably, were.
Trey Stewart was a Division
up.
II guy out of Limestone, nobody knew about, and he's working out with the Vikings now. I think had a great year. Was one of the top rushers in the country, and Tyler Huff, coming from a 1AA, nobody recruited him. He played that way every day. Played that way every day, and every game was something to prove. So I think there's a lot to that. It really is, and I'm hoping that helps create an environment amongst the whole team. Now, even the guys that weren't transfers, whatever, that, hey, we got practice today, I got something to prove. And I've talked to them about that, but we're gonna touch on that quite a bit more, because I don't think there's very high expectations for these guys, and a lot of people don't know who they are, and that's okay. They got a chance to prove that.
Finding the good ones.
Its evaluation has always been important in any recruiting in any sport at any level, but none more so than now. I think you got to evaluate, the talent part you got to see, but does he have that, want to? Does he love football and not like it? For this is a hard sport, and it's a tough sport, and for tough people. And if you just kind of like it, you won't be your best at it. You got to love it and need it. I truly believe that. You got to love it and need it to coach it. You got to love it and need it to play it. And if you don't, you'll never be as good as you need to be.
Do you like the Big 12 injury reporting system?
Yeah, they're probable. Before you ask, for the second game, who you asking about? Who you asking about?
I'm not
He's
asking
probable.
about no person. I'm not asking about any people.
No, I'm just saying.
No.
Do you really think it? I mean, I understand why, because people that got a vested interest in it, right, kind of want to know. And I'm just going to say, and just random name, he's probable.
Can you say questionable?
Or questionable.
Day to day?
And that as well.
Yeah.
Anyone doubt?
Probable, questionable,
Doubtful.
day to day.
I'm questionable what I'm calling the first play and doubtful what I'm calling next. Really, I mean.
Back to the recruiting. Why does it happen? So you have these young guys that they're told that they're D2 players or D3 players to begin with. And then we see these guys emerge, like Owen Schmidt, for example, right? And among others. Why do you think, quote unquote, schools miss on the Owen Schmidts of the world and don't get them right off the bat?
Yeah, I think it's, sometimes it's maybe a guy's a little shorter or didn't read the measurables. It's like there's some schools that if you don't have certain measurables, they're not getting it. Like I've heard that a bunch at this level for offensive lineman arm length. Like, oh, his arm length, he's only 72 inches. He's not 74 inches. I'm like, what the hell? We running a dunk contest or what are we doing? You know what I mean? Can the dude play? Now I understand that the NFL and you're getting the cream of the cream, they better have a certain length. But here, I mean, let's just find the best player you can get. Size and speed is always going to have a factor in that, but we don't get caught in. I've never got caught in the star rankings. Now, if a guy's labeled a 5-star, he's probably a no-brainer. You could turn on a film in 30 seconds, like, oh yeah. But I've seen 4-stars that couldn't play dead in Western, and I've seen 1-stars that would star in the Western. You know what I mean? So I think you just really got to evaluate it and have not just one person or two people or outside sources. Have your coaches, and that's where a little bit of, I say, lack of a little bit of experience helps. If you've, I think I kind of know when I see a guy if he can play on this level. That's the benefit of coaching a long time.
How much of it is them recruiting themselves and, a kid from Limestone sending you his tape or just having some word of mouth?
I mean, they're not good. You can't, at this level, you can't I'm gonna recruit myself to get a Division I Power 4 scholarship. Everybody's got. It's easy to get everybody's information. So but I also tell kids this, and to your point, we had him in camp. There's no reason that any high school kid that wants to play at the next level can't get eyeballs on his film or have people look at him. Because you can make your own highlight film, you can get your own information, you can put it on social media. So my point is, if you're good enough to play college football at any level, you can get yourself recruited by putting the work together, doing the film, and then sending it out to whoever you want people to look at. A lot easier than back in the day, 40 years ago, when your only chance of being a walk-on was somebody seeing you in person. Now everybody can see everybody, right?
Rich, you mentioned the expectations kind of being low on the team and some of the players. Is that something that you like? Is that kind of how you would?
Oh, outside expectations.
Yeah, you kind of prefer
I think
that?
it's.
Kind of use that
Yeah,
to your advantage a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, that's not the driving motivation every day, but I do think it should be somewhere like, hey, we got something to prove, right? And I think hopefully that adds to it. I feel that way.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.